Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Create with Brenda. I'm Brenda Hillard, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have been stamping for a lot of years. I tried to count. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure I've been stamping for at least 30 years. And it is my absolute passion. But is what I really love most is the joy that my cards bring to the people that receive them. So I love designing. I love crafting with my Stampin' friends. And let's start stamping. So today, um, I have a card. It's a simple card, but it's got some kind of cool techniques. So we die cut with pattern paper. We stamp tone on tone in the background. And then we just have this cute little thinking of you. Again, I'm going to be using the Quiet Meadow bundle. The Quiet Meadow bundle is just so much fun. And it's really a different bundle than our other bundles in that if you um, if you look at the dies, they don't coordinate with the stamp set. They're let me back up. They coordinate, but the dies don't cut out the flowers. They're to be used on their own. And last Saturday, I used the same set. But this week, I want to show you how the same set, the same Quiet Meadow bundle, can make a card that looks so different than last week's. So let's get started. And is what we're going to be using are these two long-stemmed flowers out of here. And let's see, I've got this is Just Jade. It's last year's in color, and it's really, really an awesome color. And then I've got a piece of this is our in color designer series paper. So is what I did was um, I just laid the dies on the paper. And I kind of told a fib. We aren't using both long stems. We are going to use one of the long stems and we're going to use one of the short stems. So like this, okay? And then I've got Just Jade ink so that we can do our tone on tone stamping. I have a piece of basic white cardstock that measures 3 3/4 by 5, and then a medium envelope. Okay, so like I said, this card is pretty simple, but I think as you can see, it makes a pretty elegant card. Then I have just a scrap strip that you cut off, like if you're doing a fun fold or you have those little pieces left. I'm going to be using this to stamp our sentiment on. So let's, first of all, this is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm just going to fold that in half, making sure that our edges are nice and straight. And then I'm going to open our Just Jade ink, and I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper. And the reason I'm doing this is because um, on one of our pieces we stamp off, and I don't want my work to get that on my work surface. So we are using Quiet Meadow is a red rubber stamp set, so we don't need extra cushion underneath our stamps. So I have the flower, and then there's just this scripty wording And it's purposely set up or designed so that it kind of fades out and it's partial and it makes the coolest imprint. I'll show you here in a minute. And then I wanted the thinking of you. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit and let's start. So I'm just going to ink this up. Looks good. I'm going to stamp right here in the lower third of our card, just like that. And it will dry later. I'm going to ink up our flower. I'm going to stamp off and stamp on and do that second generation stamping. So can you see the difference in the ink there? That's kind of a cool technique. It's nothing new, nothing innovative, but um, it might be new to you. So give it a try. So there's the base for our card, okay? And then while I've got this ink out, we're going to bring in our little scrap of basic white. And I'm going to line that up on my grid paper so that that's straight. And I'm going to ink it up. And then I'm just going to stamp. And we get that nice impression. Isn't this fun how the first letter on these are, well, capitalized, but then they're longer and narrower than the other font. And it just gives everything such a good look. And I have one more thing to stamp. So I'm going to bring in the inside because our cardstock is dark, right? So we need to have a lighter insert so we can write our sentiment. So as all I want to do is just carry this over onto the bottom of our insert. And did you see I stamped that one off first? And then, so the inside of our card is going to match the outside. And then because we do no naked envelopes at Create with Brenda, I'm going to do that same thing right down here on the bottom right corner of our envelope. So now we have everything that matches. And that always makes me happy, the matchy matchy. So I'm just going to move my inks off to the side as we have a little bit of die cutting to do, and then we'll assemble our card. So I'm going to bring in my mini stamp and emboss. And this works really well with the dies in this bundle. So I'm going to take my bumblebee patterned paper and I'm going to take that short, it's a flower and kind of leafy pattern. And I'm just going to run that through. And remember that with the Stampin' Emboss Mini, you want to offset your plates. It just moves it through the compression wheels a lot better. Oops. And so there's our piece. And can you see the detail on there from the pattern paper? That really adds a lot to this project. So if you give it a try, use your patterned paper, okay? All right. I'm going to put plate number 1, plate number 2, and this long stemmed. I'm not really sure what it is. I think it kind of looks like a mum almost, but I don't know if it is for sure. Somebody who knows flowers, and if you know what it is, put it in the comments. I'd love to Love to see what it is for sure, but until I hear from you, I am going to refer to it as a mum. Okay, so there's our flower. You guys be sure to share my video. Be sure to comment and like. That's how my Facebook page grows and how my business develops. And you all know that I love, love, love this stamping thing. So new people, new watchers, new customers, help a girl out. All right, let's bring this in. And is what I'm going to do first is with our liquid glue, and you need very little. Sorry about the reach. I needed one of my silicone pads here. Turn that over and see which side do I want. I think I want this one. All right, and I'm going to add very small amounts of glue, and I'm really just going on the big pieces or the wider spots of this. It doesn't have to, this long narrow stem up to the flower, that really doesn't need glue, and I'll show you why here in just a second. So I'm going to put that right down here on my card. And when you use liquid glue, you do have to hold for just a bit. All right, let's get our glue on here. We do have these awesome adhesive sheets that this would work really well for. However, I was using scraps of my paper, and so it didn't work for me this time, but I think if I do that again, we will give those adhesive sheets a try. It turns your cardstock right into like a sticker. So when you have these fine details, it doesn't, oops, stuck to my finger a little bit. That's okay. So I'm going to hold it down and give that just a little time to stick down. Thing too that's nice about glue is it's a little bit repositionable if you want it to be. However, once it's stuck, it's really stuck. And I have a tendency to have glue absolutely everywhere when I use liquid glue. So I like my little I like my little tape runner. So now is what I want to do is I'm just gonna trim the end on my sentiment banner here, and I'm gonna shorten it up just a touch. And then right above where we stamped that awesome writing, I'm going to give this some dimensionals. And these are just our regular dimensionals. I didn't have the need for mini dimensionals because my strip was wide enough to accommodate. And then I'm just going to put this right across the front. I love this look, and I love the simplicity of this card. It makes, they're quick, they're easy, and yet they're beautiful. So now I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive right up here at the top. That's all I'm going to put on here, and then center it up inside my card so that this is still lifting, but that doesn't matter. So there's today's card with the envelope. I hope you've enjoyed a cup of coffee with me this morning, and I will see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Let me tell you one more thing. It's my birthday month, June. So my host code for June is right up here. When you place a product order with me of $75 or more, I will send you the Biggest Wish stamp set absolutely free. The other special I have going on is the Many Marvelous Markers. Those are our Stampin' Write markers, and it's a 40 marker set. You get the neutrals, the brights, the subtles, and the regals. And it comes in this beautiful sturdy case with extra space for um, the in-color markers should you decide to complete your set. They're normally, like I said, $123. This month at Create with Brenda, I am doing a $99 offer for the Stampin' Write markers. These are not alcohol blends. They're a regular um, water-based marker. And is all you have to do is PayPal me $99 or email me that you would like those and we'll arrange payment. All right, you guys, have a great weekend. Be sure to wish all of those wonderful fathers in your lives a happy Father's Day. Until next week, bye bye.